Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm in mainland Spain, and it is just after 9 o'clock in the evening. Now, the temperature, we've had some rain, we've had storms today. It is 26 degrees, which is absolute bliss from what it was, because it's just been so hot as it is in August in Spain. So it's been so lovely today. We've had storms, we've had rain, we've had wind. It's like, you could have your windows open and there was actually, fresh air coming in through it instead of, before you literally open your window and it's like this blast of heat coming in. So that's been lovely. I feel like my head's working again a little bit better now because I'm not as hot and bothered as I was. Having said that, because of my, lovely neighbours that I have who have, there's one guy who lives opposite me, honest to God, he's been out in the street talking since 10 o'clock this morning. He has not stopped. What does he talk about? I know I can chat, but what is he even talking about? And then it's just ha, 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 ha. Oh, God, he just stands at his gate and waits for someone to talk to, anyone except me, because he knows I don't like him. Oh, my God. Anyway, he's still there. He's still talking. He'll be talking tonight till 12 o'clock, midnight. And I don't think he's worked today. Normally goes to work, which is like a relief, but he must have had a day off today. So anyway, that's the only bad thing. But, oh, God, honestly, it's unbelievable. It's like he uses the street as like his living room. His sort of where he sort of talks to his friends and everything. And that wouldn't even be so bad. But he shouts. He doesn't talk, he shouts. So everything's loud. Then he's whistling his dog. Then all my dogs start barking. Then the chihuahua comes. Oh, God. Anyway, I've shut the windows so it's nice and quiet and peaceful. Can't hear him. I actually can't hear him for the first time today. So anyway, that's been my day. I hope you've had a good day. I mean, it hasn't been a bad day, don't get wrong. It's been lovely having the storms. It's just been so lovely, and you don't realise how literally you cannot think when it's so hot that even when you're in the house with the aircon on and the fans on, it's still too hot. Your brain just doesn't work. Anyway, not that my brain works that well at the best of times, so you can imagine what it's like when it's 40 degrees. Anyway, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for watching, for liking, subscribing, as the ticker says. Now, today we're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers. So it's been a little while, probably about a week or so since I've done a video about Sebastian. We've been covering Sebastian's case right from the beginning. And it's very sad, isn't it? Because Sebastian Rogers is 15 years old. And he just disappeared. One of these, isn't it? Disappeared into thin air. I think it was on February the 26th. Supposedly, allegedly, he went to bed on the Sunday night, and when his mum went to get him up for school the next morning, he was gone, vanished, disappeared. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. As any of you who've been following this case will know, it did become a bit of a circus, and it still is. And it's a shame because at the centre of this young boy, this 15-year-old boy, Sebastian, is missing. And where is he? Each day that passes looks less and less hopeful, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't feel very hopeful now that he'll be found safe and well, but you never know. Anyway, so yeah, going back to what I was saying, thank you to all of you for liking, for subscribing. Special thanks to my members as always. Please consider becoming a member to exclusive live streams every week, and also you get to use the members emojis, and also there's some extra videos and photos on there that aren't on the normal channel. Also, thank you to those of you that have PayPal'd me, sent me a super chat, bought me a Ko-fi, sent me an email, left me a nice message. All of you that have supported my channel and supported me, and not only financially, but in a moral sense, if you like, or sometimes when you've made me feel so much better when I feel down and when I've got things going on, like at the moment, a few problems. It's you, lovely lot, that you sort of all make me feel better. So thank you. Let me take the banner off now, and then I'm going to say hello to it. Oh, here's Riley. Hello, Riley. I'm going to say hello to everybody, and then we'll start looking at this weird and wonderful case. It's just, I find that it's just so sad. I think this is another case where YouTubers or social media people have got too involved. When there's no evidence against somebody. Can you see Riley's tail wagging in the background there? I know you're there. I know you're there. Come up and say hello then. Come on. Accusing people. Not only that, but actually harassing them. So this is the point we've come to now with this case, that Katie Proudfoot, the mother of Sebastian Rogers, who a lot of people think, because of course she was the last person to see him alive, presuming he's dead. We don't know that he's dead, but she was the last person to see him. There, family are always the prime suspects, and especially if the last place he was seen was there in the house. But I can't help thinking, wouldn't she have come up with a better story if she had done something? So I'm not convinced that it's anything to do with Katie or Chris, but I don't know. I literally do not know. So, but anyway, some people who also do not know, but seem to think that they know something. Some other YouTubers have literally been harassing Katie and Chris Proudfoot so much that they've taken legal action. So, sorry, I was going to say hello to everyone. Let me say hello to everyone first. Hi, Teresa. Teresa was first tonight. Hi, Teresa. Hi, David. Hi, Daniel. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Hi, Ocean. Hi, Tracy. A bit of a sweetie wife. Oh, David, honest to God, he's never stopped talking. Don't know how old he is. I'd say he's maybe in his 30s. He's not old. And he does work, but he's not all there, I don't think. I bless him. But there's something. He smokes quite a lot of marijuana, because quite often you can smell marijuana up the street. And I just think maybe he's a bit lonely, so literally just stands there, and then sooner or later somebody will go past and he'll start talking to them. But he's, and that's fair enough, but all day, please. He didn't even have a siesta today. It was just from 10 o'clock this morning, and he's still there. But it seems to have gone a little bit quiet now. It's gone a little bit quiet. I could go mad later and open the window, but then he'd probably come back. Oh, Teresa. But you know what? I wouldn't mind if he only did it every now and again. And the other day, I don't know what what day were we on Wednesday? So I've lost track of the days. But there was one day, I think it might have been Sunday, there was nobody out there. It was so quiet that it actually felt spooky, because I never ever get silence here. Just as I'm here talking to the neighbours on that side, they're in and out of the house. Bang, slam, the door. It bangs and slams at least 5 times every 10 minutes, and I don't know why. Why don't they just leave the fucking door open? Why do they have to keep slamming it? You know, open, close, literally one after the other. Anyway, so the other day, I don't know where they'd all gone somewhere else for the day. Oh God, it was so quiet. It was actually spooky. I was thinking, oh my God, you know, has there been like, is there going to be a nuclear strike or something? And I just haven't watched the news, or I don't know why is it all gone so quiet. So it's when it's quiet now, it feels weird, but it does feel nice though, but it never is. It's never quiet. It's really actually, now the dog's barking. That's not my dog. So if it's not my dogs only bark when the other dogs bark. You know, it's always the other dog's fault. You know, it's like kids and say, oh, it's the other kid's fault. Not my kid's fault. It's the other kid's fault. That's how it feels like with the dogs. Anyway, never mind. It seems to have gone relatively quiet now. It is bliss when it goes quiet. It is bliss. But anyway. Right, so I've forgotten what I was saying now. I was saying hello to everyone, wasn't I? Hi, Chumba. Hi, Katrina. God, there goes the door again. Joe, one day I'm going to sit here, I'm going to record it, see how many times in half an hour they slam that door. I'm only on tea tonight as well. I need to get the vino out because the vino helps, because if I have a couple of vinos, I don't care then about the noise. Okay, so let's have a look at this this case that is very sad, because it doesn't feel like, I don't know about you, but it sort of almost feels like it's going to turn into a Summer Wells type scenario. As you know, Summer Wells, it's this case of Sebastian is very close by where Summer Wells went missing. And of course, she's never been found. And, you know, you presume that the police are still investigating, but, you know, it's not looking very promising of, well, certainly not of her being found alive. But is she ever even going to be found? Is that going to end up like a Madeleine McCann case? You know, where we never find out what happened to her. And this case of Sebastian is sort of going the same way, isn't it? It's feeling like it's never going to be solved. Anyway, so where am I going to start here? Because so the main problem I personally think with this whole case has been the acrimony between Katie Proudfoot, who is Sebastian's mum, and Sebastian was living with his mum, and Chris Proudfoot, her husband, Sebastian's stepfather. They seem to have this very acrimonious relationship. That was my dogs. My dog's going to start fighting now. Honestly, it's like there's always something happening. They're sort of quite acrimonious with Sebastian's biological father, who is Seth Rogers. And that, you know, we've been following this case, and I think initially a lot of people were very anti Katie and Chris, and maybe still are, and everyone was pro Seth, who's the biological father. And then as time's gone on and things came out about Seth spent a lot of time on social media, didn't he? And then, you know, it transpired that Seth isn't exactly an angel. At the end of the day, none of us are angels. Any of us, if we were suddenly got involved in some sort of a case and whatever, and people start looking into our past, you know, people start looking into my past. I mean, I haven't done anything terrible, but, you know, I've done things that I'm not proud of. I've done things that I wish I hadn't done, or, you know, as I say, nothing, you know, don't go thinking it's anything drastic, but, well, it's all sort of in my book anyway, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher. We've all done things, haven't we, that maybe if somebody wanted to make a thing of it, they could make a thing of it. And that's what happened with Seth. You know, it transpired that Katie, she was so much younger than him when they first got together, you know, that it was virtually, you know, she was underage, wasn't she, really? And then it transpired that maybe he'd exhibited some signs of coercive control, even domestic violence, while he was with Katie. So suddenly, you know, Chris Proudfoot, everyone, you know, his actual things he's done are documented with Child Protection Services, of hitting Sebastian with a belt, you know, various things. So there's all these things have come out, and I think a lot of people in the end just got sick of it all as well, like all the backbiting between the parents. Then this so Seth had all these private investigators that he sacked. He fell out with a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers that were supporting him from the beginning. Seth fell out with him. I mean, you know, he's under a lot of pressure, and I'm, you know, but from what I can gather, Seth is not the easiest person to get along with. Now, then he employed Tony Mathis as his private investigator, or his PR guy, I should say, sorry, not his private investigator. And I've got to say, their relationship has lasted a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought they would fall out pretty quickly, but they haven't yet. Their relationship, you know, Tony Mathis is still helping Seth out. You know, I wouldn't say he's doing a very good PR job, but he's doing it. You know, he's helping him out, and they do videos every now and again. Seth has got his own channel now, so he's gone from, you know, popping up on all these different YouTube channels to having his own YouTube channel. So anyway, first thing we're going to look at, I think, is an interview that, so Seth did an interview. There's this news place that's been covering it recently, because there's not been a lot talked about recently, but anyway, this is one of them. No, that's not the one. Hang on. Yeah, so there's some events planned to honour, they say here, events planned to honour the Sumner County teen missing for nearly 6 months. But yeah, to remember him, to bring him back into the, because Seth, at one point, Seth took out these cease and desist letters. So after he'd wanted everybody to follow this case, then suddenly he seemed to try and stop everybody from following the case. So it went very quiet in sort of YouTube landia, you know, people stopped making videos, but I've noticed there's been a few more being made again lately. Hi, Mello. So let's have a look at this video.
For the last 5 months have brought unimaginable challenges. February 26th, Seth Rogers' son Sebastian disappeared from Sumner County.
And since then, Seth has crisscrossed the state looking for his son. But as more time passes, he fears people will forget Sebastian. News 2's Sarah Smith shows us what Seth is doing to ensure that doesn't happen.
Nearly 6 months have passed since Sebastian Rogers went missing. His dad, Seth Rogers, says it feels like time stands still.
Still feels like one continuous day. Still looking, still getting tips, still trying to keep awareness that my son is missing so he doesn't disappear.
It's a case that's intrigued the country. Sebastian is 15 and has autism. On February 26th, he disappeared from his mom and stepdad's home in Hendersonville. Investigators say he wasn't seen leaving on home security cameras. Search crews have used boats, helicopters, and horses trying to find him.
We found nothing.
So yeah, many searches were made initially by the police. So the police have been so quiet, haven't they? The police are saying nothing, keeping stum. So Seth, you know, he does look, you know, can see around his eyes and everything. He looks sort of, doesn't look well, does he, bless him? But yeah, so there was all these searches by the police, and remember, they were searching the landfill site. They immediately honed in on landfill sites, and that made me think that maybe they've got reason to think that somehow he's ended up in a bin or whatever. But it's all gone very quiet as far as the police are concerned. They released it. They have, I don't even know the last time that they did a press conference or anything like that. Now, Seth, of course, he organised searches, didn't he? He's organised people, and people were saying, why hadn't Chris and Katie gone along to these vigils that they organise and stuff? But Chris and Katie, I do think, were reviled that much that I don't blame them really for not going along, because everybody decided pretty right from the get-go, more or less, that it was Chris and Katie that, Katie's done something, Chris has covered it up. And so there's been a lot of hate put out to them. And it might be right, maybe Katie did do something, but imagine if she hasn't, and all this hate has been directed toward her, and she is a mother at the end of the day. But anyway, time will only tell what the truth is. So yeah, then it became like a sort of team Chris and Katie, or team Seth. There was a brief flurry where they were supposed to be starting to cooperate together when Seth told everyone to F off if they didn't like it. But that didn't come to anything, and then they all fell out again, and I don't know what their relationship is now, probably non-existent. And that's sad, because at the end of the day, Seth and Katie are Sebastian's parents, and it's a shame that they can't come together, isn't it? But anyway, I don't think that's going to happen.
Which in itself is promising.
The more the merrier. We want all hands on deck. We've got some very qualified other organizations that have offered to come in and help.
To keep Sebastian's name out there, the owners of Michaela's Motel are hosting an event in his honor. It's Saturday, August 24th at 2 p.m. at the Fallen Brewery in Clarksville.
His family reached out saying that Sebastian just really loved and adored animals. And so we were honored to be selected for the charity, but they wanted to give back to an animal charity in his honor. So we're very, very touched by the whole story.
I'm wanting the community to show up, help spread awareness that Sebastian is out there somewhere and that we need to find him.
Rogers is asking everyone to not give up hope in finding his son.
As a father, you realize that a lot of things that you do in life is for your children.
Sorry, and one thing that I know Seth always says, that my son is missing. My son, my son. He always refers to Sebastian as my son, which I find that a little bit irritating, because Katie was the main parent. Sebastian lived with Katie. Seth hardly saw Sebastian really. So, keep saying that. And then, of course, when Sebastian first went missing, Seth said that Sebastian was going to live with him, and he was looking forward to it. And then, of course, it transpired he actually wasn't looking forward to it, because it meant he had to not go to school. He would have to be homeschooled. And I don't know how Seth thought he was going to look after him when Seth works full time. I mean, he was 15, which I suppose is, but he was, he's got high functioning autism, so he would need supervision. He would need somebody with him. So it's all a bit strange, isn't it, that whole thing from the beginning. And then, as I say, things turned out that actually Seth wasn't the saint that everybody thought he was in the beginning. In any case, and it turned out that Sebastian didn't want to go and live with Seth. So then that led to people speculating that maybe Sebastian had run away. I can't see that he ran away, because apparently he had no shoes on, did he? So why would he have run away with no shoes on? Anyway, we don't know what he did. He wasn't seen leaving the residence. I think it wasn't he seen putting the bins out or something. They have got some CCTV of Sebastian, the police, but of course the police are keeping it very close to their chest. but what they've said is there's nothing to show him actually leaving the residence. So that's led people to believe, well, did he go out through the garage in the car? You know, did something happen, or did Katie do something? And then the way that she got him out of, because she went out to look for him, was Sebastian in the car then? But then the thing is, where did she put him? You know, to me, is if she did something to him, where did she put him? Where is she without it being seen on CCTV? Or, you know what it's like these days. You can't. Look at what happened with Stefan Stearns and Madeline Soto. You know, even if there was no CCTV directly outside the house, you can't keep away from CCTV these days. So it's very, very mysterious, this whole case. And I'm not convinced that any of them have got it. I don't personally like any of them, you know, because they all seem to have, you know, had you know, there was problems in one way or another from all of them. But I don't either feel that there's really any evidence to say that any of them have done anything wrong. I don't think Seth has done anything wrong necessarily, but the basic fact is, we just don't know. Even the police don't know.
When they just go missing, you know, the only thing you think about is trying to find them.
The Sumner County Interim Sheriff says one detective a day is assigned to Sebastian's case. There's a peaceful protest planned outside their office on.
So one detective a day. Hi, Sephi. One detective a day is assigned to his case. Now, that doesn't seem like much, does it? But you know what? There's loads of missing people in that area, missing children, you know, so where do they, it's good that they're still, you know, using any resources, I suppose, because, I mean, they'll never give up until there'll always be something, I suppose, but just doesn't seem like much, does it? Anyway, so this lady's just going to say now there's going to be a peaceful protest.
On August 26th, Rogers hopes that this encourages investigators to provide more answers. Bob and Haley.
Let's just watch that again, that video from the beginning.
One father, the last 5 months have brought unimaginable challenges. February 26th, Seth Rogers' son, Sebastian, disappeared from Sumner County.
And since then, Seth has crisscrossed the state looking for his son. But as more time passes, he fears people will forget Sebastian. News 2's Sarah Smith shows us what Seth is doing to ensure that.
You know, that is worrying, isn't it? You think that people will forget. You know, I think that families, when someone goes missing, be it a child or be it an adult, you do have to keep it up, because when people have been missing for a length of time, you know, it does obviously slip off the public radar. Other things happen, don't they? You know, you sort of, someone goes missing, like with Summer Wells, you know, but they sort of fade off the news thing, and it's only the family really that can bring that back or keep it up. You know, my child is still missing, and I don't know how much Candace Wells and Don Wells are doing to do that. I think they do quite a lot of you know, work, if you like, to try and keep missing people in high profile. I haven't really followed the Summer Wells case for a while. So maybe I need to look at that again, but it's difficult to follow a case as a YouTuber when there is no news, unless you're going to be one of these like they've got in this case, just making it up. You know, you can make it up, you can make something up every day. You know, that's if you were that, if you had no principles, just go on there, put some stupid headline up, and really there's nothing except, and that's what a lot of the YouTubers do, and I don't like that. But the trouble is, then if you don't do that, you can't keep making videos, because you know you're waiting for something, some substance. You know, but again, I will try to. I will always, whenever I hear anything about Sebastian, will, because when I start with a case, I do like to follow it right through to the end, whatever the end is.
Doesn't happen.
Nearly 6 months have passed since Sebastian Rogers went missing. His dad, Seth Rogers, says it feels like time stands still.
Still feels like one continuous day. Still looking, still getting tips, still trying to keep awareness that my son is missing so he doesn't disappear.
It's a case that's intrigued the country. Sebastian is 15 and has autism. On February 26th, he disappeared from his mom and stepdad's home in Hendersonville. Investigators say he wasn't seen leaving on home security cameras. Search crews have used boats, helicopters, and horses trying to find him.
Was that courtesy of Tony Mathis? Anyway, well, you know what I think of Tony Mathis. I don't like him, I'm afraid. But so yeah, this is, oh, it's a sonar. Is that a sonar he's looking at? Right. Okay.
We found nothing, which in itself is promising.
The more the merrier. You know, we want all hands on deck. We've got some very qualified other organizations that have offered to come in and help.
To keep Sebastian.
Don't know what it is about that man, but he literally gives me the creeps. Sorry, Tony, but there's just something about Tony Mathis where it makes my skin crawl, literally.
Sebastian's name out there, the owners of Michaela's Mutt Motel are hosting an event in his honor. It's Saturday, August 24th at 2 p.m. at the Fallen Brewery in Clarksville.
His family reached out saying that Sebastian just really loved and adored animals. And so we were honored to be selected for the charity, but they wanted to give back to an animal charity in his honor. So we're very, very touched by the whole story.
I'm wanting the community to show up, help spread awareness that Sebastian is out there somewhere and that we need to find him.
Rogers is asking everyone to not give up hope in finding his son.
As a father, you realize that a lot of things that you do in life is for your children. And when they just go missing, you know, the only thing you think about is trying to find them.
The Sumner County Interim Sheriff says one detective a day is assigned to Sebastian's case. There's a peaceful protest planned outside their office on August 26th. Rogers hopes that this encourages investigators to provide more answers. Bob and Haley.
Yes. So, yes, David, that is, I don't know what it is about that guy. Don't know why. He literally gives me the creeps and I don't even know him. Okay, so we're going to have a look at another one now. I think this is a different video, but it's on the same news channel.
This month to keep hope alive. Tonight on News 2 at 10, we hear more about how residents can show their support.
Let me go
6
back.
months ago, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Sumner County home. Tonight, investigators say the search for Sebastian remains active. The teen vanished in February from his family's Hendersonville home. Organized searches have been held ever since, but still no sign of Sebastian. The acting Sumner County Sheriff says a detective has been dedicated to this case each day since Sebastian disappeared. And today, we spoke with Sebastian's father, Seth, who spent the last 6 months trying to uncover the truth of his son's disappearance.
As a father, you realize that a lot of things that you do in life is for your children. And when they just go missing, you know, the only thing you think about is trying to find them, bringing them home. Everything else is really not important.
Residents plan to hold a vigil for Sebastian later this month to keep hope alive. Tonight on News 2 at 10, we hear more about how residents can show their support for the Rogers family.
Yeah, so it's been a little while since there's been a vigil, hasn't there? You know, he was doing quite regular vigils in the beginning. And then, you know, it's been a little while since then. Hi, BF. Now, so that's really the only update from Seth-wise, if you like. So let's hear about what's happening with this YouTuber. What is wrong with these YouTubers that feel that they can interfere in, you know, attack families whose, you you know, whose loved ones are missing. You know, whatever anyone might think about Katie or Chris, they haven't been arrested. They haven't been charged with anything. It's not up to some YouTuber to say, oh, they're this or they're that, or accuse them of this or accuse them of that. Honestly, it's sort of beyond me that. I don't even know why they would do that. Even if they think, oh, yeah, they've had something to do with it, to actually pursue them, go to their house, you know, harass them. That's different even from just making a video saying, oh, I'm not sure about these and their story. You know, to literally attack them. I think it's just terrible. Anyway, so the main protagonist is I thought, so hi Katrina, I think I did say hello to you before, but I seem to slip down in the chat. The main protagonist seems to be now our JLR, who, you know, I did used to like. I'm not sure about JLR these days. I've sort of gone off him for a few different reasons. But yeah, he's got it against Seth now as well. But the main protagonist seems to be this Bullhorn Betty, who apparently is Andra Griffin. Now, I tried to watch a couple of her videos. I just can't watch them. I can't, you know, it's even for research. We are going to watch a little bit because, you know, I've got obviously to make this video, I've got to show you something about her, but you know, it's not something I could sit through for any length of time. But so the mother of an autistic teenager who vanished without a trace from her Tennessee home has accused a YouTube sleuth of threatening her safety. Andra Griffin, known to followers as Bullhorn Betty, has been investigating the baffling disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, 15. I think we could definitely say it's a baffling disappearance, who was reported missing from his home in Hendersonville on February the 26th. Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, has secured a temporary order of protection against Griffin, preventing her from coming within 100 feet of her or her home. Imagine that, having to do that against the YouTuber. Oh my God. She threatens us and posts live while driving by our home, Proudfoot said. She's dangerous and she's threatening me and my family's safety and telling her followers to help and do the same. Now, I'm not taking sides here. I don't know, you know, if that's true what Katie is saying. But really, if it is true, I think it's terrible. I mean, just that T-shirt, silence is an answer too. You know, what is she saying? She doesn't know what's happened to Sebastian. She doesn't know any more than the police know or whatever. So she shouldn't be interjecting herself in that, in my opinion. It's nothing to do with her. You know, if she wants to do a YouTube video about the case or whatever, that's fine. But what is she doing? So, YouTuber Andrew Griffin, also known as Bullhorn Betty, has won thousands of fans for her investigations into missing people's cases and unsolved crimes. What? Has she really? Has she? Anyway, and she's got quite a lot of followers now. So, of course, this is Chris and Katie. This was the interview they did in their house that, you know, everybody... So the thing is, I think you're sort of damned if you do and damned if you don't when you're, you know, like in this case, of people are sort of thinking it might be something to do with Katie and Chris. If they didn't do an interview, people would be saying, oh, they never did an interview, why are they being quiet? Then they do an interview and, of course, people tear it apart, don't they, and try and do body language analysis. You know, you can't do body language analysis. You only know about body language in hindsight. You know, you can sit and do body language analysis till it comes out your ears, but it's not going to prove anything. You know, the police can't take that to court. It's just, you know, a way of making a video, really. So let's have a look at this. So here she is, Bullhorn Betty.
En Central de Reservas creemos en la tecnología como motor de progreso, pero no somos robots, sino personas ayudando a...
A missing teen's mother claims she's being stalked and falsely accused by a YouTuber. So now she's taking legal action. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared 5 months ago from his family's home in Hendersonville. The teen's mother has been granted a temporary order of protection against a Florida YouTuber by the name of Bullhorn Betty. Well, tonight, News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry sat down and spoke with the influencer.
Sebastian Rogers has not been seen since February 25th. Since then, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, along with several other agencies, searched for a little over a week before officials said they were scaling back to focus their efforts on the investigative side. YouTubers and TikTokers nationwide have covered nearly every step. But now, Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, indicates it's gone too far. In a legal filing for an order of protection, Katie says Andrea Griffin, also known by her YouTube name of Bullhorn Betty, accused the family of harming their son while, quote, inciting the public and her followers to aid her in stalking. Katie calls the YouTuber, quote, dangerous. Andrea tells me she has not received the temporary order of protection, but claims she has not done anything illegal.
If it is from her, then that's absolutely a falsehood. They can go and look at all my lives. My lives never come down off my channel. Driving on a public property, on public road with a camera hanging out, there's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. It was when it's the only time I've been in the Hendersonville area. The questions of this case are becoming more and more.
Andrea says her main goal is to provide informational content to the public and to help find Sebastian. She tells me these accusations are just a distraction.
I don't like the drama on the channel, and the more I resist the drama and keep it focused about
What? Yes, you do. Yes, you do like the drama. Of course you do. That is a blatant lie.
Sebastian, the more these distractions keep coming up. This is all about Sebastian Rogers, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It's not about Seth Rogers. It's not about Katie Proudfoot. It's not about Christopher Proudfoot. It's about where is Sebastian Rogers and how can we bring him home.
A court-ordered hearing is set for August 8th at the Summer.
See, I just find that so insulting that she's saying that, because nobody, you know, she is not Sebastian's mum. Katie Proudfoot is Sebastian's mum. She doesn't even know Sebastian. So she's trying to say as if, you know, she's taking the moral high ground. But, you know, maybe Katie did do something to Sebastian. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Katie is Sebastian's mum, not her. And she's saying she doesn't like the drama and she doesn't like this and she doesn't like that. Well, I know for a fact she has insinuated all the time that it's Katie who's done something to him. And as I say, maybe it is Katie that's done something to him. But you can't go on YouTube and say that. No, she's just, you know, well, her channel has grown a lot. Let's say that.
Sumner County Courthouse. Each of Bullhorn Betty's YouTube videos will be summarized for the DA's office. Until that time, a temporary restraining order says Andrea cannot stalk or come within 100 feet of Katie or her home. In Nashville, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
We reached out to Katie Proudfoot for comment and have not heard back.
So no, it could well be.
Since I've been out here with her,
it could well be that Katie has done something. What my point is, we don't know, and it's not up to Bullhorn Betty. I mean, just the name. I mean, oh come on. Just like, let's have a look at her channel. Just going to put some windows down. Let's have a look at this video. Right, let's have a look. I mean, it's not really respectful to Sebastian either to make Sebastian Rogers, did Katie Proudfoot lose her shit? You know, I don't know about that. But anyway, let's watch a bit of it.
I've never had contact with them whatsoever. And this appears to be malicious in the fact that they're trying to get me to shut up about their case, which is in violation of my constitutional rights. Either way, you guys know that.
There you go. Rights for free speech, your constitutional rights. Is it really in your constitutional rights, though, to be able to accuse somebody of something? A mother who has lost her son, whatever, you know, it could be that there was something that happened and Katie did something or whatever, but she's still a mother who's lost her son. I don't expect she intended to do anything to Sebastian. Maybe I'm just trying to, you know, I can't imagine that she would have done anything deliberately. From what I can see, Sebastian had quite a nice life. You know, they were always going places, doing things. Now, Sebastian would have been a handful. So it's possible that, and especially as he came up to 15-year-olds are a handful, whether they've got sort of special needs or not. So maybe there was some sort of issue and maybe something happened. But again, we don't know. We just don't know. And, you know, to me, who is this woman to say all these things about somebody she doesn't even know? I mean, she doesn't know her. She didn't know Sebastian. She doesn't know Katie. She doesn't know, you know, she's just really talking off the top of her head.
This all took place. They didn't do anything, apparently weren't in fear for their life the entire time. They had Faith at their home. And then the day that Faith goes home, the very next day, they filed these protective orders.
So Faith is Chris's daughter to another sort of marriage or partnership. What has she got to do with Faith? You know, she's talking. To be honest, I agree with Katie taking out the injunction. If that was me, you know, imagine if it was you and you've got whatever the circumstances, you've got some woman sort of hanging around making videos about you constantly and, you know, insinuating that you've done something to your son and turning up at your home or going past your home and doing live streams. I don't blame her. I really don't.
Orders when I hadn't even been in the community except one time for 2 days that was actually around their house for videotaping and recording. Now, you watch Vinnie Politan all the time on Court TV. He's standing on public roadway talking in front of a house where a murder.
Now, we're going to have a look at Vinnie Politan in a minute because he's had a little bit to say, mainly about Seth, to be honest. So just think, is it when they've got no other news to talk about? Because all this really is just gossip, whoever it is, whether it's her saying it, whether it's Vinnie Politan saying it, and I like Vinnie Politan, it is just gossip. None of this is fact-based. You know, I just, maybe she's trying to antagonize Katie, maybe she's trying to get the truth out there, but, you know, then she's jeopardizing the police investigation. Anyway, I don't know. I'm sure you'll all let me know what you think. I'm just going to fast forward it a bit because I can't, you know,
most likely for a disability. So I'm curious as to what purpose she has, why she's receiving this, and what type of disabilities did she claim to have from her time in the service, if that's the case, and if that's the way she collects her funds. It's pretty interesting. Disability in the military is totally very hard to get.
Yeah, so then she's going into when she was in the military, did she have a disability or blah, blah, de blah, de blah, de blah. I personally, I can't bear all this gossipy stuff. But let's fast forward it a little bit more. Just
the reason why he was going against Sonny is because Sonny was retiring. So it sounds to me like they go ahead and pick their people behind the scenes and just put them in the office. You kind of like what the Democrat Party just did with Kamala Harris.
You know, well, you know, should be a Trump
not one sheriff in that whole emotional leaks after Sebastian evaporated. So I don't know if that, it sounds like it became public, like Clue must have bragged about it on her channel or tried to do.
Right. So
after I went
talking about, there is another YouTuber called Cluminati, and she seems to be in the, she's another one that I can hardly bear watching. I've watched her, but I can watch little segments of that, but I cannot sit there and just watch a whole video. But yeah, Cluminati is like on the other side of the fence, if you like. She's on the Chris and Katie Proudfoot side. So really all this is a big gossip fest between Bullhorn Betty, Cluminati, any other YouTuber who wants to sort of join in on it and, you know, throw their tuppence halfpenny in, but they don't know anything really. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward it quite a bit more. Of course, if you want to watch the whole video, maybe some of you do watch, maybe some of you like her, that's fine as well. You know, that's your choice, obviously. But yeah, Bullhorn Betty, if you want to watch her videos, that's where you'll find them.
At least things are running the way they're supposed to be ran. If they're not going to give us information, then fine. Then maybe we need to start making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because it sounds to me like they did not follow the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the directives from them.
Yeah, so it's all just, you know, bullhorn. It's all bullhorn to me. Now, if we go, just let's have a look at her channel. Videos. Okay, so she's just released a video about Brian Kohlberger. There are all the, where's all her Sebastian videos gone? Okay. I'm sure there was just not that long ago when I looked at a channel, there were more Sebastian. Yeah, look, Sebastian Rogers. Proudfoot's are liar, liar, pants on fire. Sebastian Rogers, the cloud of suspicion over his mum. Sebastian Rogers' mum, Katie Proudfoot, commits a misdemeanor. Questions that need answers. By Ole Miss in Tennessee. You know, I just don't like that. Yeah. It's Sebastian Rogers, Truth and Lies. Yeah, she's a big Trump fan as well. God protected Trump. Yeah, so if you're interested in the Sebastian Rogers case and if you're a Trump supporter, I would definitely recommend her channel. Okay, in fact, I think we'll have I should be fair and show you the Cluminati channel. I always have problems finding this channel for some reason. Cluminati. Is this her? Yeah. So this is Cluminati. And yeah, see, oh look, this bitch, Bullhorn Betty, honey. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. Bullhorn Betty, honey, are you okay? The runaway theory, Sebastian Rogers. I don't have to stay quiet anymore. Bullhorn Betty, just shut the fuck up. So, you know, so they're like, they're having an argument over YouTube in a way, aren't they? You know, and people would take sides. Cluminati is on the Proudfoot side. So nearly all these are Sebastian Rogers, etc. So it's a shame, actually, isn't it? It is a shame. It's a shame for Sebastian because what's happening is this is a 15-year-old boy who's missing, and it's descended into this gossip fest over YouTube by people who say they care about Sebastian, but do they? Do they really? Anyway, let's go to Vinny Politan. So he made a video just a couple of days ago. Why won't they clear Dad? So what the police have said is nobody's how is it? It's like nobody's actually a person of interest, but nobody's off the table. Nobody's been cleared, you know. So Vinny in this video, he's saying, why has the biological father not been cleared? But I don't think they can clear anyone until they know exactly what's happened to him. Let's have a look at what he's got to say anyway. No comment about it. Let's see what he's got to say.
How does that work? Explain to me how that works. Wow, here we are. Here we are. I can't believe we're still here. And there's still no evidence, no leads, no clues, no arrests, nothing, no information. How does that work? Explain to me how that works. Having a hard time. Because it shouldn't work this way. It just should not work this way. 15-year-old child with autism disappears, and I don't know. There's no evidence of anything. Are you telling me this is either the perfect escape runaway by a 15-year-old with autism on medication, or this is the perfect crime, one or the other?
Yeah, now Vinny's got a lot of experience in court cases and things like that before he, you know, was a news person. I think he was a lawyer. It's unusual, but having said that, it happened with Summer Wells as well. But it is unusual, and Madeleine McCann, really, when you think about it, unusual for a child to go missing and there to be no evidence 6 months on. Because at the end of the day, Sebastian has to be somewhere. Even if, you know, he's come to foul play, even if Katie did something to him, he's got to be somewhere. Bodies don't just disappear into thin air. Where is his body? Where, you know, and these days, like the police will have all the details of where she went. They'll have caught, don't forget that she's taken 2 lie detector tests. Everyone's taken a lie detector and passed. So my personal feeling is that Sebastian has come to some harm, but it's an accident. Something's happened to him when he went out. Unfortunately, that's my own just personal feeling. Again, I don't know that. I'm just giving you my opinion. Because I think the police, with all the, you know, technology that they've got these days, because they didn't live in a place, don't forget Summer Wells lived in, you know, like a house right up on a mountain somewhere where there wasn't really proper, you know, CCTV and stuff. Sebastian lived in a place where there would have been caught on CCTV, or there would be, you know, some sort of, they would have seen where Katie went. They would have been able to follow her car and see where she went when she was looking for him. That, where has she put his body? You know, that's the thing. You just got to think, where could you put the? Because from the minute he went missing, she will have been watched, tracked, you know, whatever. So I can't see how she could have hid his body, even with Chris. Well, Chris wasn't there, you know, and it's been accepted that Chris wasn't there. So by the police. So where, you know, how have they done it? So it's not a question of if they really, if, you know, how have they done it? If they have done it, you know, his body doesn't, you know, bodies don't just disappear. You know, people don't disappear, and bodies even less likely to disappear. You know, it's hard to hide a body these days. Anyway, let's carry on looking at Vinny.
Is that what we're saying here? No evidence, no leads, no suspects, no nothing, no evidence of foul play. So here we are in the case of Sebastian Rogers. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all the things you need to do, folks, to keep us going here.
Hit the like button.
It's great to have everyone here. The question I posed is, why is Sebastian's father still not cleared? He was on my show the other night and talked about it. And it's very concerning to him because he believes it's really hindering his access to information, hindering everything. So, I mean, isn't that the way investigations should go? You look at the people closest, and then you fully investigate. And everything he has said is that he has been completely cooperative, willing to do a lie detector, gave up his phone, everything else, alibi at work at the time. I'm trying to understand what it would take for him to be cleared.
Well, the thing is, I agree with him. Why isn't he clear? Why isn't? But I suppose that the thing is, as soon as the police say he's in the clear, or Katie or Chris, they've made a comment on the investigation, haven't they? And maybe they simply don't know yet if he's in the clear or not. Just because someone passes a lie detector does not mean that they're not lying. Of course, that's why lie detectors are not allowed in a court of law. But they're like, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's quite a big percentage, isn't it? That they will be correct, but it's not definite. So, I mean, Seth was working at the time, wasn't he? That's supposedly been confirmed. So how could he have done something? But of course, he could always have had somebody else do something. Don't forget that Katie supposedly heard a thud, didn't she, in his room? See, that was another reason why I thought, surely if Katie had done something and she's trying to cover her tracks, she would come up with a better story than that, wouldn't she? Oh, yeah, I heard a thud. And I just shouted up, are you okay? Go to sleep, or whatever. Wouldn't she have come up with a better story than that? Like, oh, yeah, I heard a thud and a dragging noise, or I don't know, it just seems quite likely to me that Sebastian might have gone out the window, or somebody might have been waiting outside, or, I mean, it's a complete mystery, isn't it? It's like he's been energized up on the bloody Starship Enterprise or something. Crazy, really, but
I don't understand. What do they potentially suspect out there? I guess anything is on the table, right? If you're an investigator with no evidence or no information. But at the same time, there's nothing. Wow. Absolutely nothing. And that's frustrating, because if there's nothing at this point, when will there be something? Like what could possibly happen?
Exactly. What if nothing, if after 6 months nothing's come up, what could possibly come up now? It's true what he says. He's quite clever, Vinny, because I've noticed he sits up right close up to the camera. He's quite attractive, isn't he, with those eyes and what have you. But I think he sits right up close to the camera there because he makes you feel like he's literally sat next to you. He's quite sexy, isn't he, really? And then, of course, he's got all these women that watch him and send him dineros. But, because when they want to ask him questions and that. But he's good. He's interesting. I like watching his videos. I'd much rather watch his video than Cluminati or bloody Bullhorn Betty. God.
There have been extensive searches that have continued. Like if he went off on his own, but first of all, if he's leaving in the middle of the night on his own, how and why would he leave? Right? For me, it was always thinking about, well, maybe someone lured him there under something. Well, then there would be some digital. There would be something that would indicate that. And then presumably there would be many more people who know, many more opportunities for someone to talk. And if it was in fact a classmate or someone like that, how limited was his interaction on the World Wide Web, on the internet? Could he have been targeted by someone pretending to be someone else and to get him to a particular place? Did he leave on his own? Could he have left? I guess it's possible, but why would he leave without shoes? Why would he leave without a phone? None of that makes sense, does it?
No. So it doesn't seem like he left, if you like. To me, he just popped out. He popped out for something, and something happened to him. Because I like that. I'm just looking at Vinny's eyes there. It's like his eyes are boring into you. I think, did he? He's popped out to put the rubbish out or whatever. And then there's those weird lights, isn't there? There's been a lot made of those weird lights that the police say were the trash truck or whatever. But in the last video that we looked at where Seth was on his own YouTube channel with Tony Mathis said, we don't think that they were the lights from the trash truck. Insinuating that they were like torchlight lights. Again, the police haven't really, the police have sort of commented, but not really commented, if you know what I mean. So the police have left people to get their own ideas about things. And of course, whenever you leave a void of information, as we've seen in so many cases, when people have got a void of information, they make up their own information.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. There's nothing about the circumstances that at least we believe to be true that would lead to him walking away on his own. There's nothing. There's nothing. Obviously, anything and everything is possible. Everything's on the table. We get it. There's no suspects, no evidence, no leads, no nothing. But did he leave without his shoes? Like if that part of this is true, that there's no evidence that he had shoes on his feet, where is he going? Where is he going? How far is he going? Really? Like, and how would he not be found or seen or spotted or someone said something? If he's lured by some creeper or something, in a gaming app or somewhere else, somehow was able to make contact with him, how would there not be some trail of that somewhere? Because I've got to believe they've investigated all of that, including his phone. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to anyone, but it seems that there had to be something somewhere that caused this to happen, right? Tension in the home, an argument, a fight.
Yeah, something must have happened, because even if unless he had an accident when he popped out, or did they have an argument? So, Seffi, you were asking when the mum last saw him. She said it was when he went to bed. She then spent 2 hours on the phone to her partner, Chris, which some people say, well, nobody would spend 2 hours. But I think that's perfectly, I could easily spend 2 hours on the phone with a partner, chatting and whatever. Because don't forget, he was working away. So obviously it'd be more difficult to spend 2 hours talking to someone that you were seeing every day. But, she would, because it's easy to imagine, isn't it? loads of times I've spent at least 2 hours talking to my boyfriend or whatever, various boyfriends, because if we weren't together at the time, if they were working away or whatever, I think it's quite easy to spend 2 hours talking to someone, you know, who you're missing. But that's when supposedly she last saw him, and then she heard the thud. She didn't see him after that. She saw him when he went to bed. They'd been out that day, hadn't they, and had a brilliant time, supposedly, according to her. Came home, he went to bed. She was on the phone to Chris Proudfoot, and then she heard a thud, shouted up to him, go to bed. You know, I don't know what you're doing up there. Something on the lines of, I don't know what you're doing up there, but whatever it is, just be quiet and go to sleep or something like that. And then she says, then when she got up in the morning, that was it. It wasn't there.
A threat, something like that. Someone luring him, or someone creating a situation making him want to run away. But without shoes, come on. And there's zero. And by the way, they're saying nothing about this as well. So what happens to the cases where there's no evidence, no leads, no anything, and they're not saying anything?
Yeah, could be FaceTime. Well, I haven't got FaceTime, David. I don't have an iPhone, but yeah, it'd probably be a WhatsApp. If it was me now, it'd probably be a face-to-face WhatsApp call or something like that. But now, I'm sure the police have checked this out about the 2-hour phone call and the blah, de blah, de blah. The police will have checked all the digital stuff that they've said, won't they?
You know, I think there was a big lesson in the Delphi case in retrospect, right? I mean, ultimately, they arrest Richard Allen. And he is someone who told some form of law enforcement that he was there that day. And years later, I guess they find the clothes that are similar, and he's got a similar build, et cetera, all of that. But, you know, they got buried. Someone didn't see that piece of paper. Like, no one thought through all those years. All right, let's go back. Who was there that day? Who do we know was there that day?
Right, I'm just going to fast forward him a bit because we're not going to sit and watch the whole video, but just to get his thoughts here and there.
Killing veteran journalist Jeff Kehrman. Now, before
it's Court TV. Court TV has an app. You just go on the App Store and you can do it there. Or, depending upon, I don't know what service you have for TV, it's there. If you're on your computer, courttv.com. We got you. At least we got you. Right. Emmer, regular Emmer type of investigation where you've got the victim, right? You've got the body or whatever. And you have some sort of a timeline and you've got a specific place where something took place. It's easier perhaps at that point to clear people because you have more specific information about what happened to the victim. Here, you don't know. So it could just be a matter of semantics, making it impossible to clear someone because you don't know what happened. I'm just trying to understand it, right? Understand their thought. And it's a very relationship sometimes between law enforcement and the family. Because there are times where the family has to be looked at. And sometimes the family's not cleared. Sometimes the family is under suspicion, but ends up being 1,000% innocent. Creates a little bit of friction. But I always look for the family that is looking to be cleared, which means you are inviting more scrutiny. Like if you're inviting the scrutiny, then is it because you have nothing to hide? Because you legitimately want to be on the same page with law enforcement doing this search?
Oh, that's interesting what he's saying there, because just thinking how you would feel if it was you, if it was me and my child had gone missing. I was Katie and I was 100% innocent. How would you react? It's difficult, isn't it? Because would you be angry, that like Katie is, and that people are doing this, Bullhorn Betty, etc. No, I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about other people. But as far as the police were concerned, it's a tricky one, that, because the police will say that somebody who is, how can I put it, somebody who has done something wrong, they will try and find out what the police know. So sometimes somebody who's always asking, like, is there any news, is there any news, blah, de, blah, de, blah, that can be because they're trying to find out, have the police found out anything? But then, of course, you would want to be always asking the police, is there any news? Is there any news? So it's very difficult, isn't it? I mean, I think the police will, whoever's dealing, not the police in general, but whoever's actually dealing with this case, they will have an idea just from police person's intuition as to whether those parents have had anything to do with it or not. Because I do think that the police do hone a hunch instinct. I think that's the it's not often that you pull one, if it's a seasoned detective that's dealing with it, it's not often that you can pull one over on them. But collecting the evidence, of course, is a whole nother thing. But yeah, so would you think someone who is interjecting themselves into the inquiry, would that make them seem guilty? But if you were a parent, how could you not interject yourself into the inquiry? Because that's your child, and I'd be on the phone every day. Where's my son? What are you doing? What have you done today to find him? Have you got any news? You literally would be every day, wouldn't you? So it's a difficult one. Let's see how Vinny ends up thinking about it.
Trying to figure out what happened and where your child is. That's the way I see it. Again, this is based upon speaking with and covering victims through the years. Glenda, hey, Vinny and the mods, I don't want to always say it, but how many moms choose the guy and get rid of the kid? Glenda, Mezzacapo, what does that mean? Half a head? Glenda, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Let me just fast forward a bit.
Right? That's important because that's where he was living. Sign of him walking out. No sign of a break-in.
Oh, that was interesting. That was interesting what you said, but it's getting waylaid now by the super chat. No, all windows, doors locked, no sign of him walking out, no sign of a break-in. Only thing on camera, the 3 a.m. lights that was not a garbage truck, and one of those lights going back towards the Proudfoots. Yeah. It's it is a complete mystery. We can. He's going to go on to all these super chats here. So I was interested in listening to what he had to say.
All of a sudden, people are like pointing the finger at you. How public are you going to be? How public are you going to be?
Now, I do feel that Kate and Chris were public to start with, but they got such a barrage of abuse and that, didn't they? So then they stopped being public. But immediately they were public. Remember, they had that other YouTuber, the Chronicles of Olivia. She went and interviewed them, and then they got such a bad press about that they started. And then they did. Chris appeared on a couple of YouTube channels, didn't he? And then they've sort of just switched off now completely. from publicity and what have you. And I think that's probably because of the backlash that they got. But God, I don't know.
The thing that bothers me the most, though, is because I've seen parents who have been sort of in the, sort of in the public target area, but they still continue to do anything and everything to find their child. So I've seen it both ways. And I've seen some that just sort of curl up and just want to disappear and just want to grieve on their own or suffer on their own. So to have zero evidence at this point, the case that had these many eyes on it was making this many headlines, I don't think they would have swept it under the rug. I think they would have attempted to dot the I's and cross the T's of the basic initial investigation, which includes, of course, which would include hold on one second. I have to respond to this. It's a work text message. I'm sorry.
Right, he's got a text message. Anyway, I'm gonna stop watching him now because he, to be honest, as much as I love Vinny, but it's all just speculation on his part. He doesn't know any more than I know, or you know, or Cluminati knows, or Bullhorn Betty knows. We don't know anything, and Vinny doesn't know anything either, but he's got his instincts. I felt like he was sort of saying there that he did feel that maybe Katie was involved. That's just the impression I got, but I could be wrong because he didn't actually come out and say that. But again, he'll just be using his spidey sense from the years that he's been reporting on true crime, or dealing with people who've lost their whose children have gone missing. He'd just be dealing with his experience, I suppose. And all of us, we're just there really talking about it, caring about what's happened to Sebastian, and not knowing what's happened. But to me, I just think if Katie is innocent, what she's had to go through, bearing in mind that if she's innocent, she's actually lost her son, and her son, to all intents and purposes, is probably no longer in this world. It just seems like very cruel, doesn't it, to have to go through that before, you've even been proven to do anything. Now, it comes out in the future that Katie did do something to Sebastian. Well, that's a whole different matter, isn't it? But up to now, we don't know that she has, do we? So I personally think Bullhorn Betty should butt out, and Cluminati, and anyone who's trying to be nasty to anybody else over this. At the end of the day, this is only about Sebastian. It's only about Sebastian. If they could all get together and try and help find Sebastian instead of just attacking each other, it would help, wouldn't it? So, what do you all think? Has anybody, what do you think? Do you have an opinion on what's happened to him? As I say, if I had to put an opinion, and say, I think he's come to, something's happened, some sort of accident, I think has happened to Sebastian. But why they haven't found him, I don't know then. Unless an accident happened, and maybe, why would Katie want to cover it up though? Why would you just get the police, wouldn't you? Why would you want to cover it up unless... I just don't know. I literally, I think this is one of the most mysterious cases ever, really, because of the information that we do have, you know, because I think there is some CCTV. He was definitely there at the house on the Sunday night, from what the police have said and from what Seth said, etc. So where did he disappear to in between? You know, no idea, Sophia, no idea. Me neither, really. Just, you know, what a mystery. So how awful for them, and not only for them, but for Seth too, if, you know, Sebastian has disappeared, their son has disappeared, and nobody's got any idea. I wonder if the police have got an idea. Do you think the police have got an idea, but they just haven't got all the evidence? I suppose it's possible. Sorry, all my wires are falling down here. I'm worried I might unplug something by mistake. Anyway, okay, so I just wanted to give you it's not really an update. It's just an update, you know, what's happening in the YouTube world, and that there are some events planned. There's going to be a protest outside the police station. There's going to be another video. I think it was the 19th, was it, they said, or anyway, coming up in August. So, you know, I'll just give you updates here and there. Okay. So I'm going now. I'm going to go and have a nice cup of tea and go to bed probably. It's just such an exciting life that I lead. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. I'm just going to put I don't think I've got a big picture of Sebastian to put up. No. So we'll put the video on. But anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. But most of all, thank you so much for watching. Bye. May your God go with you.